Hi, I'm Justin Jensen, and welcome to my channel. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and may fall again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. Teddy Roosevelt. Well, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Greatly appreciate your time. Today is October 5th, 2022, and we do have a show for you. We are going to be talking about with a family member who is a victim in her own right with the serial killer that is in the Stockton, California streets right now. And we're going to, talk with her. We will not be revealing her name for her privacy and safety at the moment. But we are going to just let her up here very shortly. And we'll get started. After that, if she doesn't mind, we'll open the phone lines and maybe allow some calls. We will be discussing a gentleman, one of the victims. His name was Paul Yall. So without further ado, we are going to bring up the family member, and everyone, please be sensitive in nature and kind. I would greatly appreciate it, as you guys always are. So here we go. Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, Justin. I'm doing well today. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for joining us. And I appreciate your time. I am so sorry that you are going through this currently. It's unimaginable. And other families are in the Stockton area as well. And with, this still unresolved, I'm sure it's
Mhm.
a lot of anxiety at the moment.
It is. It's viral now. I mean, it's across the entire nation. It's not, it's no longer just in California, Northern California, Southern California. And I heard that it was actually international too.
Oh, I'm
Not
sure. I'm sure.
100%, but yeah, everyone hears
Yeah.
serial killer and it's just, um, it's unbelievable. So,
Yes. Yes. So you are a family member of Paul Yaw. Am I pronouncing
mhm.
that right?
Yeah, yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was pronouncing that
Yeah, no
otherwise
problem. No
correct.
problem. I know it's unique.
No, I mean it's I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. Um, so tell us about Paul and who he was, and as a person, and about his life, and memories and all of that. I'm going to give you the floor.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I would love to tell everyone about Paul. Paul, I guess I'll start off by saying that he was a cousin to me. And but he was more like a brother. My dad helped raise him. It takes a village usually with kids,
Absolutely.
and we're a close family. So Paul went on all of our vacations. We were a little bit closer in age than my older brothers were, but we used to have some of my best memories because you would ask that, and I was thinking about that, and I'm like, we used to kind of when we would go camping, we would,
Hmm.
we were little, like probably, I don't know, like 8, 9, 10 maybe. And we would try to catch, see who could catch the most fish. And it was usually, little tiny bluegill or something that, didn't really matter enough to keep. But he was a little brother to us. And same, my older brothers, he looked up to us from what my aunt said. um, he was funny. He had children, and
Hmm.
I don't really want to go into that quite yet.
Sure. Sure.
I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but Paul was literally, he wasn't just a cousin. Like I said, he was our sibling, and
Hmm.
everything. My family cared deeply about him, and It's it hurts uh more than you could even imagine. The not knowing is the worst. And
Sure.
we just I don't know. Like I said, there's so many memories right now, and I'm kind of getting lost in them. But he was funny, and he was kind of quiet, but once you got to know him, he wasn't.
Hmm.
He was goofy,
Hmm.
he had a big personality once you got to know him, and he would be basically just, I don't know, just kind of a chill person, and as he got older too, he just um, never any issues with Paul. He was just a good person deep down, big heart,
A
like everybody
sweet
says. That's
sailor.
true.
Yeah. What kind of profession did Paul do uh, throughout the years?
So I know that he did help my brother out. My brother Nick. He had he had a business that he was running, doing a lot of techie stuff, and he he liked to do compute anything to do with computers. I know that he was a manager for, I believe it was like a certain drugstore in our area.
Hmm.
He did some retail, and he did some kind of techie stuff, but I know the tech stuff was kind of his favorite. So working on computers, anything electronic, anything that had to do with, like I said, anything techie. That was kind of, I guess, his niche, is what I would say.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's so he was so senselessly taken for no reason,
Yeah,
no reason other than just evil.
yeah.
And how something like, it just makes you wonder sometimes when you are just walking down the street, you know, who you're actually walking past. It's something that it's quite scary, honestly, when you hear serial killer. You don't hear that all the time.
Hmm.
And um, it's you think of serial killers from the past. You just don't think of something right now. I don't know why, or at least that's in my mind. At least I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
well, yeah.
yeah. So, how old was Paul when he passed just recently?
35.
35. Wow.
Yeah, 35.
That is
Yeah. It's too
so.
it's too young, and like I said, when we say serial killer, it's just it's crazy. It's like what you know, we we had no idea that it was going to blow up because, well, before the other victims came up, this was something that we thought he was the first one, and why, and
Mhm,
why is he the only non-Hispanic one, you
mhm.
know? So there's
Right.
been all kinds of different questions that we have, and honestly, we haven't really got a whole lot of answers, other than what we've seen or what we've heard from there's a little extra, but not that we can share.
Sure.
But yes, serial killer is mind blowing, and just to think that, like, every time, my brother and I we were just together the other day, and then we were just, we had to have a good cry because it's like, oh my God, like, poor Paul. Like, I wonder, was he scared? Was it, like, how, because we were told two different things, like, was he, did he know? Did he try to fight? Like, we don't know really any of that, unfortunately.
Hmm.
Um, so that
When was this photo taken and where? Do you know, like how long ago this
um
was taken?
let me see. I'm not sure how quite to see it, honestly. Hold on one second. Oh, that one. Oh yeah, that was actually so that was at my brother's concert, and I believe
Oh,
it was 4 or 5, mm, might be about, let's say, 5 years ago, just to be safe. So that was a concert. My brother's in a band, and so we all get together and try to kind of hang out and support him. But that's where that photo was taken.
yeah. Quinny is saying he looks like a kind man.
Yeah, yeah, he was a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
He just was. I don't know. I never saw him get angry. He just always went with
Hmm.
the flow, and that's why I'm like, I can't understand how or why somebody would want to do that to him. And the only thing, like, I picture in my head is him walking, in probably a
Hmm.
questionable neighborhood, obviously, but
Sure.
just walking and minding his own business, and then boom, boom, boom. Like,
Hmm.
it's just why?
Now, Paul was the first victim in Stockton, correct? Like in the inner
Yes,
city, is that correct?
yes.
From what I am understanding, there is potentially 7 victims now.
Yes. Yeah, they have linked, and I did find out based on ballistics that they have linked two other shootings. One the person did not survive. The other one, they did, actually, and it
The
was a
female.
female.
Yeah.
And they're saying that she says she can be mistaken for a Hispanic man, and
Oh,
she
I did not know
actually,
that. Okay.
yeah, yes, she said, because well, the way that they quoted her was as a black female, but I mean, there's pictures all over social media right now in this area. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Maybe I should send that to you. But she said that, yeah, she can be mistaken, and I can kind of see why she said that. So,
Right.
it's, yeah, and then they're saying so, but she, from what I know, was in Oakland, and no, no, no. So she was not. She was in Stockton, but there was another male, last year in 2021, that they connected the ballistics to, that was in Oakland, and he did not make it, unfortunately. So I don't know a whole lot about that killing, but I do know that he it matched. So he's being linked to the same insane person.
Wow. Um, Tell us how Paul was doing at the last time you seen him. Was he working toward any of his goals? How did he look? How was he getting along?
He actually, thank you for asking that, because he actually looked really good, and he was trying to work and make money, he had been kind of down on his luck, I guess is what I would say. And he was trying really hard to fix and repair his life.
Right.
And, I just, that's another reason why it makes it a little heartbreaking. So,
Sure.
we weren't in touch that much towards the last couple of years, but enough to where I could hear, or somebody had seen him, and he actually looked good from what I was told. And obviously, we
Mhm.
did have an open casket, so I did see him, and he looked, as weird as it is to say, he looked healthy. He didn't
Right.
look like he was, you know, homeless on the streets or struggling or anything like that.
Hmm.
He looked filled out, and you know I guess so, as well as they could make him look. But so he to me, I feel comforted in saying that he looked good.
Yes. Just what? I apologize. I have children.
That's
So,
that's okay. So do I, and two
um,
little dogs.
oh, I have twins and a dog and a cat. So,
Oh, my brother Nick. Gosh, I keep doing that. I'm so sorry, but he was a twin, and but we
oh
lost one
really?
of them. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But our brother was actually. This is our second tragedy in our family. We lost our other brother from a drunk driver. So we, this is it's a lot. You
yeah,
always think like that can't happen to your family, and then one thing happens, and another thing happens, and you're like, what? Like, are we
yes,
cursed? It's just like,
yeah,
I laugh about it, but it's like, it's an anxious laugh. And I mean, it's, I'm still flabbergasted. I still sometimes don't know what to say about it.
sure.
Um, and we're
I
still
mean,
learning a
it's
lot. So
of course. So Paul was hospitalized when he was uh, when he was gunned down, right? Do you know like what time of the night or morning hours that it was? Can you talk about the day that it happened? How the events, as you recall them, and how the hospital, worked for you and all that.
definitely. Yeah. So we were actually notified. My brother was notified first. He was the last known address for Paul, from what they told us. And my brother just happened to be home from work, and they knocked on the door and said, "Hi, are you so and so?" And he said yes. And they asked, have you, when's the last time you saw your cousin? And he said, why, is he okay? And they basically, in one way or another, just blurted out, well, he's been murdered. And obviously feelings of shock and
Hmm.
wait, so a million questions. And at first they weren't really giving us a whole lot of information. So the first thing my brother did is try to ask him as much as he could. Said the last time that he saw Paul, and um, the next step was trying to find or get a hold of his mother. So that was kind of our mission, and she had recently moved out of state, so we didn't have her new number. Um, and so we were able to obtain that, and then my brother had to call her. But when my brother, when he called me right after the detectives came, and he said, what are you doing? Are you sitting down? And I was like, no, I'm driving actually. He said, can you pull over? I'm like, yeah, why? And then my heart just dropped, because I know that talk because of my other brother, the sound in the
Yeah.
voice. And it's just, I'm like,
I
oh, it's just
hate
this.
that. I hate that sound, and something's like about really
Mhm.
bad. I hate that. I know.
yeah, it's like what are you like? Oh, it's just um so he
Disbelief.
tells me, yes, he says Paul was murdered. And I said, I kind of chuckled, I guess, because that's, I don't know, maybe what I do. But he said, Paul's been murdered. And I was like, what? No, no. And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, 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 sis, he has. He's been murdered. And I said, what? How? Like, what? Who? How do you know? And he said, two detectives just came to my house and told me that he was murdered. And I was like, well, what else? Like, what other information? Like, who, what detectives? Like, did you get their names, you know? And he said, no, they were just kind of really quick in and out. And they just asked last time that I saw him or if I knew anything about him. And that was it. And I said, what the hell? Like, that's it? And he said, yeah, but they want to get a hold of, Auntie. And so, that was the next mission. And I'm assuming, obviously, because it was an ongoing investigation, that's why they were very vague. They
Sure.
had at that time, no leads whatsoever. We just thought he was the only one. We had no idea that it was going to be a huge, this, I mean,
Mhm. Um, Now, you guys are in constant contact with the authorities, correct?
yes.
Okay, perfect. Good. Okay. Um, Now, was Paul in his normal location, or was he in a different area than he would normally be when this happened?
He, um, as far as I knew, I was aware that he wasn't really hanging out in that vicinity, but it was a newer kind of area for him. So, he I don't know how long he had been in that area because the last couple of times that I had saw him, he was more downtown, like in the heart of downtown Stockton, like where like the Crosstown Freeway. I know you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, but a whole different area. So there are some little homeless camps there. I don't know if they've cleaned them up quite yet, but this location, I wasn't aware that he was over there, but my brother told me that, yeah, that's where he's been. And so I said, oh, okay. So when I'm like driving in Stockton, I'm looking in the wrong places, trying to find him, because I would do that, like keep an eye out, like, am I going to see him? Is he anywhere there? And
Um, so was he like was he so he was not found in his normal area?
he, that's what it's kind of like hit or miss. Like I said, my brother told me that that was an area that he was frequenting recently. So I guess I could say yes. Um,
Okay.
but from what I knew for many years, that was not, where he would kind of hang out. It was kind of on the opposite side of town, I guess. Well, not opposite, but Stockton's not that big, but it wasn't he was I would see him in different locations.
Hmm. Now, what was the first story that was told to you? Like, what was the initial story? Like, just he was, I don't want to put words in your mouth or anything, but like he was
Sure.
just murdered by someone random and they were trying to find out, or
Yeah, well, basically, yeah. They just said, "Hey, so right now we're and we got more information from my aunt because I think they didn't want to release a ton to my brother, maybe because he wasn't, there were still Paul has parents that, are alive. So,
Mhm,
um, I think they really wanted to hear it from that it was okay or kind of for the identification process.
mhm,
Um, so obviously they knew where he was because they came to us the same day. So
mhm,
I don't know if he had a wallet on him or, what the situation was or how that happened. But yeah, it was basically like he was murdered. The very first story that I was told was that he was walking down Kermit Lane close to the park, um, and with somebody else. So walking down, maybe just, chit chatting, walking
Mhm.
down the sidewalk. And this person stops and turns and goes in front of him face to face and shoots him.
Mhm.
And then that was the very first story that I was told. So
Mhm.
we're like, okay, well, it has to be a friend. So on social media, going through his friend list on Facebook, trying to find anybody that might know anything or who he was with or who he was hanging out with or why or anything.
Mhm.
And that really kind of got nowhere. Well, then later on, it comes out that they're saying everybody has been ambushed and shot differently, not face to face, like what we were told with Paul. So right now, I would be interested to know the complete details, which I'm trying to get a hold of. So
Mhm.
I would like to know exactly what was said in the report.
And did anyone say that they saw anything, hear anything, um, around when this happened? If you can answer
The
that, I just want you to, if you can't answer something, just say, I can't answer that respectfully. That's no
Of
problem.
course, there are
Yeah.
a few things that I can say
Mhm.
that I knew I was going to kind of reveal, but so around my cousin, between my Paul's murder and the time frame from the next murder, there was a little bit of time, but I have had several sources that have told me that they believe they have him on video, and the information now has been all turned in. So we're hoping that it will be of some assistance. I know they released another video, I think late last night, but it's not the same one that I know of. So I'm hoping that, but they're not catching it in the act. That's the problem. So where Paul was there, it would have to be caught on somebody's ring or a personal camera they had at their house. And that is kind of residential over there. It's not just a park and nothing. There's homes over there. So, and in the initial report, I mean, somebody had to have told the police that he was walking with somebody and then the person turned. So I don't know why they haven't said that, or if that's not true. Maybe it is true. I mean, there's still a lot of questions and there's
Mhm.
still a lot of mystery.
I know, with the female victim who survived, from what I understand, she was in a tent or getting ready to come out of a tent,
Mm-hmm.
and she immediately ducked.
Yes.
And and this the murderer, um, kind of, you know, hunched over and shot that way. So, it makes me think of a rather younger person, right?
Yeah.
Which we
Yes.
don't know who, how old this uh, murderer is, serial killer, but from the videos that we have saw, which we've only
Mm-hmm.
saw one publicly at least, and it you think I think of someone 40s or below, you know what I mean, something like that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um
There. It's yes. It's but did you see the video where they released where he was like walking, and he doesn't seem like he's elderly, or it does seem like a younger kind of stride, I guess, or a very
mhm,
almost kind of confident from what it looks like. It's not like a hunched over, kind of scared person, or some of the other stuff that has come to me that this person is not all there, or maybe homeless and kind of on hard times also, and just kind of insane, really. And it looks like this person that they showed was like standing kind of with confidence, straight up like that. I mean,
Yes.
that's my first like ha 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 kind of thing, if that is the person.
Yeah,
So,
I'm trying to find that video of him. Uh, I mean, the only thing that we can see, I mean, I can show you a photo. I don't have the video right now. I can find it shortly, but
mhm.
this is the video that we have. It's the one that, so I don't know if this is the one you're talking about. Um, with this, you can only see
Yeah,
and then he
no, there's
turns.
another. Oh,
Yeah. Um, so, I let's just hope that, they, I'm sure nowadays with all of the ring cameras and the stoplight cameras and just constant surveillance, right?
mm,
The thing is, they could even know who it is at the moment, but you got to find someone as well. So,
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it just, yeah, it's we like I said, we thought we were, he was the first victim, and then now there's these other two people, but there's somebody that was in Oakland. So how did it go from there to here? And
mhm,
like I said, the questions are always there. Why? I had a reporter ask me, "Are there any questions you'd like me to ask at the news conference?" And I said a million, but where do I start? Do you guys have a
sure.
name? Do you guys have any, a distinct one person? They keep saying that, but do they really have one person? And I mean, I don't know. It's just we just were, kind of bombarded with this in the last like week and a half or so. So it's just still lots of questions. And my cousin Paul, he has his he had his children, my extended family, my mom, my dad, his mother, his father, everybody, cousins, he was well loved. He was, like I said, he was like a big teddy bear and funny and goofy, and um, he truly, truly is missed. And we're not even close to even, I was afraid that I'm gonna, sit here and cry the whole time, but
Well,
it's
that's
just
under you. You're always, it's sometimes you just need to, cry and let it out as well. Um, but when did you first were told that this is much larger than what it wasn't just Paul, that this is something like a serial killer.
actually last Friday. So I was notified that it had come out on a Facebook page, and someone had sent it to me, and I
Mhm.
said, "Oh my gosh!" And I sent it to to Paul's mother, and she said, "I'm going to call the detective." So she did, and the detective said, "Oh no, they're not related." Just right off the bat, they're not related, and I'm going on vacation, so talk to you in a week. We're like, "What the hell?" Okay. And then the very next day, more information had come out later that day, and the next day we got a call from a newer detective, well, new to us, and
Mhm.
he confirmed. He was a little bit late because once 209 Times had posted that, it just went crazy viral. And I wanted to tell, his mother before anybody else could, at least. And that was also, the detective was worried about that, and he apologized, which I thought was really nice. And they are putting in a lot of work trying to find this guy. And from what I'm being told, internally, through the family loop and through the detectives, is that they're very close. That's the only thing that I can say, that they're really hopefully getting they're getting to a point where it's hopefully
Good,
nobody else loses their life. Yes.
good. And I hope you guys, all the family members, get to look this evil, poor excuse for a human being in the eye in his day
Yeah.
in court. You know, we were looking over this video last night and we were just trying to observe different things. And, you know,
Oh.
this person has a distinctive gait, a distinctive
Mhm.
walk. And he's very upright. He appears to be uh, on the very thin side. Also, with his left leg, it is constantly pointing out a little bit. If you'll
Mm.
notice, like his foot and stuff, see how it's constantly.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
Okay.
these things, you know, a lot of times, I don't know if you've ever been into true crime or keep up with anything like this.
Oh, yes.
Uh, um, but you know, there is the Bardstown case, and there's two uh, two young kids, 13 years old, Abby and Libby, and this man was crossing this bridge, and she had enough, you know, mind in her at even such a young age to record. And
I
this has
I
been,
do know that case.
yes,
Yeah,
six
I do.
years, six
Yes.
years, and they still haven't caught this guy.
Yes.
However, however, the sheriff, he always says something interesting, and it's so true. He says, don't even try to look at the face. Look at how that person walks. Look at what that person is wearing. You know, watch the gait of the person, because we're all unique individuals. We all walk differently. You know, we all have certain mannerisms about us, and you can tell a lot about that many times just by, you know, just observing. And, you know, I think if someone, you know, they'll know someone, you know, if they just see this video of someone who could be this build, and someone that may walk like this, and someone who constantly has his leg and his
Yeah.
foot out to the left. And it's very, you know, it's very noticeable. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's something that all those little points that you're bringing up, it's like I wouldn't even think to really look at that, but it could, that because he does have an interesting stride,
yes, yes,
it's different. And I just like
yeah.
I don't know, the way he walks, I feel like this is somebody that's confident, and I feel
Oh,
like
yes.
and not from what, because like I said, from what I'm being told, I feel like it's somebody that they're saying it's someone that's insane, a bum on the street and all this yada yada. But honestly, the way that if this is the person, they look very confident, and they look like, hey, like kind of like they're the man, you know what I mean? And they're not going to get caught in cocky, cocky and confident. That's what I see in that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's too much to say, but
No, 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 no. You're absolutely right, because I mean, these people, uh, th- they're in really subhuman, because they don't think the way you and I and our audience thinks, right? They
mhm,
think, and they want notoriety for this,
right.
as sick as it is. Um, but you know, he's going to get his notoriety. That's for certain. Whenever
Mhm.
we see him in court,
Yes.
behind
I'm
bars.
yes, I'm hoping that day is around the corner. And
Yes, it's not
I
if, it's
yeah,
when.
right. Exactly. Exactly.
So, Now, there was like a second story about an ambush, right? When
Hmm.
it came to Paul, and can you talk a little bit on that?
Yeah, so the second story that we were told, because the first one I remember was he was walking with somebody, and then the person kind of just basically turned around and faced him and shot him. Um,
Uh-huh.
the second story was that he was just walking alone, and out of nowhere he was shot basically from behind, and there was
Uh-huh.
no he didn't even know what happened to him. That was the other story that we were told. So I would be interested to know, I mean, which one is it and where are those stories coming from? Because like I said, I honestly, the first story that we were told, that's what we believed for months until, well, not months, but since July, since it happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you see, with even both of those stories, either someone had to physically see it, or they had to have this on some type of surveillance somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Um, because I mean, to tell a story, there has to be someone other than the two of them that would be there. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just we just don't know at this time. Um, so let's see here. Okay, you're texting. Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, yeah, no.
she's
Oh.
if she I'm actually going to go ahead and turn that on. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to type something in private chat for you.
Of course.
And all right, there we go. All right. Any questions in the chat room? Let's see here.
I haven't even really like looked too much at those ones. I'm
Um,
so new to this, and
can you speak to where Paul was shot? And
on his body, right? Not the location.
correct, his body. Yes.
So yeah, so the details that I have, because it's always hard to look or read or find out about that. All those little details. It's hard to think about. But from what I know, is that it was multiple shots to the abdomen, in the process of trying to save his life. San Joaquin General Hospital actually did an amazing job, and they went in, and from what I can tell based on reports, is that they removed his spleen, they removed certain organs, trying to stop the bleeding, and save his life, and unfortunately, unsuccessful. He wasn't dead on arrival. They did a great job in trying to save his life, and
Okay.
that, like, that's very healing to know that they actually did try. And
Absolutely. It doesn't
yeah.
matter what your economic status is, your
Right.
religion, anything like that. Every human being
Right.
deserves the same, in that regard. Um, so do you know who found Paul, and how long, approximately was it rather soon that he was found, um, after the incident had happened?
Yeah, as far as we know, the detectives went to my brother's house on that Friday morning because he was caught in the middle of the night, basically. So it was already July 8th, and that morning, mid morning, was when we were notified. So they it was quick. But I don't know who found him, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't even know how they had that very first encounter with that he was walking with somebody. Who said that? We don't know. At least
Right.
I don't know, or maybe we don't know. But
And did
hopefully I can
authorities
find
tell
that
you
out.
that? Did authorities tell you that?
Yes,
The police,
not me
okay.
directly, but yes.
Okay, gotcha. Um, is there any, we have a question here. Is there any common denominators that you see that could link Paul with the other victims, in your opinion?
Honestly, no, I don't. I had actually tried to reach out to a couple of the other family members and asked about certain ones, people that I knew were connected, and I had asked certain questions, and everyone was a no. So when the one kid was going to work, and I personally, I don't think so. I think it's the location, the area, um, but the why, I'm still lost on.
Now, have you noticed that the other victims, where the physical location that they were shot, i- is this, are they more areas to where there's not many cameras, where it's darker, where it's easy to get away from, anything like that? Have you noticed?
Yeah, it's everywhere that anybody has been a victim, and these poor men, everyone has been an area where there's no light or dim light or it's completely dark. So there's no video footage. There's of there actually being a crime committed. There's nobody really that can come forward and say they saw it first, in first contact. But there are several different videotapes that I've been made aware of that have been turned in that have not been released to the public. And I'm really hoping that it happens to be somebody that I know who works around the area and has access to cameras. And we're hoping that those will bring justice. Uh, but like I said, they haven't mentioned them. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But
Right.
it's four full videos. And I actually just spoke with her today. She said that the videos are about like anywhere from 10 to 25 seconds each, where he's walking through the area or sometimes just standing there. So
Now, in your opinion, do you feel like this person is like local, like, lives in town or in the vicinity? Has there, if you can say this, do you know if this person has always been on foot, or has he been, any cars or anything, rumors of that?
I'm not sure about the car thing, but I will tell you that I do believe that he is local. I believe that he knows his surroundings and he knows the neighborhoods very well. He might even know the people that he has senselessly murdered. We don't know for sure, but I feel like yes, I feel like he's a staple in that area, the same area. I think I sent you guys like a map of a circle kind of
Right.
over there. And yeah, I really think that he definitely is connected and maybe born and raised.
Okay. Now, when the incident with Paul happened, how long was it before the next attack?
Um, I believe that
Let's see here.
I want to say it
His
was
was
like a
July
month.
8th. So,
Yeah, I want to say it was like a
so,
month or more.
so the next one was 8/11.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that, they're all very close proximity to each other. It appears, I mean, fairly close proximity. I mean,
And
within the
getting
city.
closer in time too. Yes.
Yes, and that's what's scary. Um, and it has, so we got 7, 8, 22, 8, 11, 22, 8, 30, 22, 9, 21, 22, and 9, 27, 22. So it's been
Hmm.
getting so much closer, which
Yes.
it feels like he is, you know, these individuals, they obviously have no impulse control, and they get braver.
Right.
Um, so it's so. How long after the incident happened? How long was the how when was Paul's funeral?
We had Paul's funeral on, actually, let me tell you, I believe it was July. One second here. I probably should have wrote this down for you guys. It was July. Um, oh, I believe the
It was a little
29th.
whiles later,
29th.
correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the
Okay.
29th. Sorry. Yeah, we were trying
Yes.
to, get everybody together, and obviously, it's a hard, somebody that's so young like that, it's a hard thing to do. And also, like I said, his mother had recently moved, so to their state, and so my she had to have help, and my father helped with the funeral and everybody that was here locally. So, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
towards the end of the month, the very end of July.
Yeah. So this killer, he could have stopped because Paul's funeral was a bit later than the incident, and he may have thought even Paul survived. Could that
That's a
could that be
possibility.
could that be a thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, now that you say that, honestly, yeah, I mean that definitely could be a possibility. Um, yeah, because maybe that's why he waited, like, oh, like because there was nothing in the news, you know.
Yes.
There wasn't a whole lot. There was little tiny things, but it wasn't like this, you know. So yeah, that's a possibility. Now you got me thinking that.
Yeah. 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 Let's see here. I was just trying to go through some questions.
Sure.
Has anyone heard if the victims know each other? I don't think that they know each other. It's still, it's the only thing that really is connected, um, or how they have connected y- this person or
Hmm.
even persons is through the ballistics. That is how they have connected them. Now, you know, 6 out of 7 have been male, and the seventh, from what even she has said, that she could even pass for a male, especially maybe in the nighttime and the darker streets,
Right.
um, and that they're all Hispanic other than Paul, correct?
As far as we know, besides the female that survived, she is said to be um, a black woman. So
Right.
but can be possibly mistaken for a Mexican male. So yeah. And I keep looking at my cousin, and I'm like, Well, could he be mistaken for Hispanic? I mean,
Yeah,
maybe if he had a
I've
good
looked at that
tan.
too. I was looking at that too. I'm like, I wonder if he thought he was Hispanic, you
Yeah,
know,
we
or
do have Hispanic, but it's on the other side of our family, not on this side, you know. So
right.
I like keep looking at him and like maybe he had a good tan, you know. I mean, I'm trying to think of every possible you know, scenario or but maybe, you know, and it was dark also, so who knows?
Yes.
Who
And
I don't
uh wh- y- uh you know, people are saying that these victims have been shot in the back. Now,
mhm.
that was not the case for Paul, was it?
Not that we were told from the beginning, no.
Okay.
Yeah, we were told that he was walking with somebody and they basically turned and, you know, think of yourself walking along the side, aside, you know, somebody, and then you just kind
Uh-huh.
of stop and like swoop right in front of them, and then boom, 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 you know. But that's what we thought at first. So our minds were thinking, you know, different things like why, you know, what friend, if he was walking with him, he had to have known him. But now that all of this stuff all this other information has come out, it's that's something that I don't I obviously that goes out the window if this is the case and you know he was ambushed from behind instead. I would like to know what it was, but they probably don't know because I don't even know how we got that information. You know, why was that told to us? And who said that? Who told the police that that's what happened?
Sure. And the
Yeah.
reward is going up significantly as well. It's at I think 125,000 now.
Yeah, it's up there. It's
So there's been some great members of the community who, I think have pitched in and just to get this, if everybody's, unsafe at this point, with this guy running around. So,
yeah.
it's everybody wants him off the street to say the least.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely. We want him off the street. We don't want anybody else to be hurt, you know. We don't want any other families to hurt. This is terrible, you know. It's a terrible thing. And you know, another thing that I wanted to mention too is that, you know, it's the law enforcement, they are I have seen some people say that they're not doing their job and all of this, but I can tell you from what I do know firsthand is that they are doing a really great job and they are trying their best, and there are multiple agencies involved. So,
yes. So the FBI is involved and they're
yes,
using all of their resources to catch this guy quickly, right? So
yeah,
um, I mean, that's huge in itself. They have so much more resources and technology and means to find this guy. Um,
yeah.
so let's see here. Um, do you mind? Has there been any? Have you had any weird experiences? Has anybody? You know, has there been anything that is weird? Or that has happened to you, your family, um, that you can speak of since
Uh,
this has happened?
you mean like as far as like people that
Like
maybe have reached out or
yeah, reached out, or that kind of made your hair rise, that, or you could maybe a suspect, or
yeah.
just someone.
Yeah, I mean I did have somebody reach out to me on Facebook through Messenger. And he told me a very long story, and it was interesting and a little bit weird. But the description that he gave kind of matched what everybody else was saying at the time. but he, I don't know. So he was basically saying that, there was a certain homeless person that kept knocking on his door, and him and his mom lived together, and he would come and knock on his door, several times throughout the week or whatever it might have been. And he knew one day when he saw him walking away that he was crazy because he had um the Woody from Toy Story, like
Uh-huh.
the stuffed animal, I guess, or the stuffed little thing hanging from his leg, like tied to his ankle. And
Right.
he said that this guy, honestly, I felt like it was kind of a legit story. It sounds weird, but I maybe the person that, he was talking about wasn't all quite there. So he just kind of went on and on about how, this guy just kept harassing them, and how when he saw the shadow picture, the very first one that they released, that was he was like that was him, and he said he could just think of the smell of his dirty jacket and his beanie. He just smelled just gross. And I said, okay, thank you. I said, well, do you remember like what he looked like? Was he Hispanic? And he did give me a name, and that's all that's been passed on. So it's just I don't know really if it's true. And because a lot of times when things go big like this, it's just the information that's given. I don't know if it's valid or not, but you never
Sure.
know. Any little tiny thing might help. Maybe it is the person, we don't know.
Well, many times, these, they go back to the scene to relive uh, what happened. Many times they will go even to funerals,
Oh,
and
yes.
and they can just do a number of you know strange things that normal people would consider strange, but to them it's the way their effed up mind works. you know.
Right? No, no, it's true. And
Um,
like ever since then, it's been really, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no,
there have been so many different messages because at first I was kind of like, you know, um, I guess people were figuring out things, and I haven't really taken the time to entertain a whole lot because well, number one, it's hard to hear these things, and it's like
sure.
every day it's like being reminded again and again, because we started grieving back in July, and now we're in October, and our family is this is just opening up a fresh wound. And
Yes,
it makes it difficult for everybody. And I have plenty of, family members that were very, very close to him that just they can't, they don't want to talk about it. They just want this guy caught, and want him apprehended, and we want to see his face, and we want to see him be brought to justice.
absolutely. Um, did you learn anything from this press conference that surprised you?
Well, to be honest with you, I did not listen to the whole thing because the
Okay.
copy that I was listening to, I couldn't really hear it. So
Okay.
but I did read a little bit, and people were saying that something about Southern California. I'm not 100% sure because, like I said, I'm trying. It's really hard to all the stuff that just comes out all day long. It's easy to get consumed by it, and it can be draining and
Sure.
overwhelming. So it's like sometimes I just have to shut the cell phone off and
Yes.
set it
Yes.
aside and hang out with my kids and my puppies. Like I
Yes.
can't. It's just a lot. So,
It's
but
heavy.
I
It's heavy stuff. And, you and your family need to take care of yourselves, your mental health, your physical health, um, to see all of this through. It's very important, that you take care of all of that.
yeah, yeah, that's obviously number one. But it is good also to bring awareness and to let the public know, let everybody know that, these are, and not just Paul, all of the victims, they have family members that love them and cared about them. And there's so many different people that are torn apart because it's not even just immediate family, it's friends of friends, it's aunts, cousins, it goes so far when you talk about tragedies like this. Everybody's affected in some way, and that's just how it is. And these are life-changing tragedies for people that are still here on this earth.
Yes. If anyone would like to call in, ask a question, 307-228-4906. Just be respectful and mindful that these are real lives, real families. But yeah, we'll love to take your call, 307-228-4906. And we got a call. 1 second.
Okay.
662.
Hi, Justin. It's Camille.
Hey there.
Hello. I just wanted to commend you for coming on and talking with us and extend, our deepest sympathy to your family. I know probably since it's blown up and everything, it's like you said, living it over and over again. But you have come to the right place here if you ever need support. And we're very respectful and care a lot about each other, but we're like bulldogs. So you have an army behind your family. You're not alone. And anytime you need anything, we're here.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
Yeah.
much. Thank you so much for coming on, and it really shows the love you have for your cousin, and how strong you are to come on and talk about this with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate it. And that's the whole reason for it, bringing awareness. He's a person and he has people, and we're still here and we want to tell everybody about him and the awesome person that he was. And more importantly, we want to catch this guy, right? I mean,
Yes.
Exactly, and then you've got an army behind you fighting for him, and so you just take solace in that, and you're doing a great thing.
Yes.
oh, thank you. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much. I appreciate
Thank
that.
you for the privilege of speaking with you tonight.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Camille. All right. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.
Oh, that was so
Um,
sweet.
yeah.
That was so
Um,
sweet.
it's Camille. She's a lovely person. What, what is so, what makes this worse in my eyes that this evil human being is doing, along with many in the past, is they are preying on vulnerable people, right?
Mhm.
And it's just it's just horrible. I mean, I don't know any other word for it. Is, you know, why prey on vulnerable people? Um, I wonder if they think that they're not going to be missed, or if they're not in contact with their family or whatever. But um, that has definitely not been the case in
Right.
every single one of their lives matters. Have you been in contact with any of the other the victims' uh, families?
I actually have tried to reach out to two of them, but I believe it was like a sister-in-law of one of them and I think a nephew.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I just had found them on, social media and whatnot. So I just kind of went with it and I couldn't message them because they were only accepting, messages from friends. So I just kind of sent it over and then it rejected it. So I commented on their comment. So maybe I'll hear from them, maybe I won't. But I just thought it'd be nice to I sent my condolences, obviously, and,
Sure.
just to let them know, like, hey, you're not alone. There's several other families that are here and we're going through is the same thing. So,
Yeah, I mean, some of these are, just a week or two old, I mean, it's,
yes, they're
um,
so fresh. That's the thing too. I'm like, the shock for us, it's still happening, but it's not as fresh as it is for them right now. They're just like going
their
through
heads are still spinning.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, yes. We've had a funeral and we're still grieving, but we have gone through the thick of the beginning.
right. Wow. Yeah, it makes me, I just hope that they catch this guy tonight.
Oh,
That
me too.
way, that there is just no more, you know, just carnage to the city that he's doing. I mean, this is just unimaginable, unimaginable. Um, it really is devious. So beautiful that she's reaching out to other families. They need to stick together for justice. She's amazing. That's very sweet of you. Um, I've had a lot of locals call in that live in this city, and they've they're deeply concerned and worried about all of this going on. Is there anything that you would like to tell the victim's family that you're here?
Yeah, I mean, they might know who I am already, but that obviously my deepest condolences, and if they want to, you know, talk, or I know that's hard to say because I know I don't want to talk. I didn't want to talk in the beginning. I didn't want to
Sure.
associate or talk to anybody, but if you do, please, I guess reach out, but I don't know how to let them know to reach out to me, but yeah, just I maybe I'll continue to try to message and send my support and my love and prayers, and I don't know if there's anything maybe that they know or that was different in their family's killing, if there was something else that wasn't the same. I mean, as far as we know, it's all the same, but maybe, there's insider information that we can trade and questions that maybe we can have answered either way that, we wouldn't obviously share, to not hurt the integrity of the case, but all those unanswered questions, that's what makes this even harder.
Right.
So that's the whole that's the whole thing about it, the unknown. It's scary and it's sad and it keeps you up at night.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Let's see. Anything else? Thank you for sharing. Lisa, that's very kind. Thank you for sharing Paul with us. We all love and support you and your family. Love and prayers to you.
Oh,
Um, let's see here. Is there anything that you want that I haven't asked you that you want to make clear that that you want people to know um, either about Paul or about the circumstances of finding this person who done this to Paul to bring him to justice?
um, I mean, yeah, what I really, I mean, there is one thing that I want to mention. I know we had spoke about it before, but I do want to talk about Paul has a son, his older son, and I hope that this is okay, right? Just, is this
Yep.
okay? Okay.
Yeah, just I wouldn't use names. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. Maybe people that might tune in, though, they might already know him, you know. He has a son that we don't know where he is, and it's very important to my family to find him. As far as we know, law enforcement has not located him. So if anybody does know Paul that has tuned in, he does have a son that is a teenager. And the last that we know is that he is with the mother, but nobody can find her either. So that's also a little bit of a concern. But to our family, we want to make sure he's okay because they were not there at the funeral. We did not see them. We were hoping that for some reason they would find out and show up. And um, you know, I have a child the same age, so it's very concerning to us. But as far as finding out who did this, anything, if you see anything, maybe something seems like no, because sometimes you think like, no, there's no way, but that does seem kind of weird or suspicious, or maybe you get that gut feeling. Just
Yes.
say something about it because everybody else is, trust me. So even if you think like it might not be the greatest lead, just do it anyways. And take
Absolutely.
the time. There's a QR code, I believe. I don't know if you guys have it, but there's a
Yes.
QR. Okay, there's a QR code to report any tips or anything. So they're making it. I feel like they're making it pretty easy for people to say anything, and all of those will be gone through, and they will look at them. It's not, you're not just sending it for no reason. It's going to be something that will be looked into. You
Uh-huh.
might get questions back. So, like I said, if you see something, like they're saying, if you see something, say something, and that
Yes.
way, any little tiny, tiny, tiny bit of information, or maybe I saw him here, or maybe it's this guy, because I've got the same thing from people that I know and trust. So, it might be helping, hopefully.
Well, this is the thing. There's going to be a lot of no's, but it just takes one yes.
Right, right.
It just takes one yes. And no, and this is the thing. Sometimes in these cases, you feel like, this guy always acted a little off, but then there's cases of, I would have never guessed. I would have never guessed that this human being could be like this, right? He worked normal hours. He worked this, he did that, had a family. It doesn't matter if you know someone who walks like this, has a build like this, you know, um, saw something on these dates. Let me find it on in July. Trying to pull it up here. Give me 1 second. 612. Thank you for calling.
Yes, Justice Bell, thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
I have a thought, and that thought is that if victims are threatened by their perpetrators, they will cooperate and do just about anything. There was some discussion about why are these victims so cooperative without a fight or retaliation or hate or whatever emotion that would come about during this situation, and I believe it's because they've been threatened, especially if they have a baby. If they say, "Well, we're going to harm your baby if you don't get in the car, or you don't walk over here, or do this or do that."
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Well,
idea I wanted to share.
the lady who survived, she said it was very quick and there was no word said. So from the way it sounds, um, in anytime, this is happening in the middle of a city, people don't want to make it like a killer would not want to make a big scene. They don't want, noticed, and they do this rather quickly. So, with the lady that survived, she says there was not a word mentioned, and it was just very quick. Have you heard?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't think it's anything like no negotiating or anything personally.
Like the family of four,
Right, right. Yes.
they may have been threatened. And,
Sure.
excuse me, then I wanted to add, all that's going on in the world today, I wanted to also share that we are not wrestling against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. And we have to stand strong and justice for all.
Yes. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Thank
thank you.
Bye-bye. So you can call Crime Stoppers, area code 209-946-0600, or you can visit StocktonCrimeStoppers.org. I'm going to try to run that on the bottom of the banner here. Give me 1 second, caller.
Oh, yes, with that, I love that picture. Like a picture of him with the poem.
Yes. Here. Let's do this. Call back. Call back. Stockton Crime Stoppers. I need to fix that because I didn't put the G on it. You can call back, caller. I apologize. Just want to make sure I get this right. 973, thank you for calling.
Hi, Justin. It's Amy. Hi. I'm so sorry for your loss. I send my condolences to you and your family. I just
Thank
am
you.
thinking that we have to just say, you turn yourself in now. I don't know if the person's watching these live streams of us discussing the case. They may be liking the attention, but I'm just calling to say that you have to turn yourself in, and this isn't right what you've done to people, and it's just not. It's just very upsetting, and I feel very bad for what happened. And I don't know what else to say, but everybody, we need to implore the person to turn themselves in and to stop hurting more people and hurting more families. And I would wonder if the police department can act as a liaison to help get these families together so that they can create some sort of support group for each other, because that's very important that everybody get together and have something, because they have something in common, and it all helps people with the grieving process, and so that they can be a united front to get justice and stop this from happening. So
Absolutely.
that's all I have to say. But I'm just going to say, turn yourself in if you're listening, okay? So we can end this craziness. Have a good night.
Thank you, Amy, for calling. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much.
So, let's see here.
There's a lot of
What?
questions. I'm kind of looking like somebody said, I'm sorry, I hope I'm not intruding, but somebody asked, oh, where did I see it?
Please answer.
Blah, blah, blah. The person's on the move or to another city. Since the heat. To Devious, I think that she's asking, if somebody that's just on the move. Well, there was some confusion because I don't know about the Oakland. So I have kind of a theory. I'm going to throw it out there because I'm going to say it because it's crossed my mind. So, you know how people will commit crimes, obviously. I mean, we don't really know, but this is what we assume. What if this person committed that crime in the Bay Area, tossed a weapon, and then this other person picked it up? I mean, I'm just saying there's many different I guess, avenues that our minds can go down and think of different ways. But if he is going through, Stockton, obviously there are many surrounding cities that it's scary. And what if, this person decides to move out of Stockton and go to one of the other surrounding cities, which I'm very close to, and decides to go on a spree there instead, as to not
Right.
get caught where the pressure is.
Right. Um, Now, there is it, I don't know if it's called Amtrak there, or there's a rail system, correct?
Yeah, yeah, there is.
There.
There is. Mhm.
Um, we were talking the other night, about this. Could this killer, hop on one of the trains and
And
be in
move.
another town or something? I feel like he's probably somewhere. Personally, I feel like he's probably somewhere very close within the city,
Me
um,
too.
because he's not going to want to run, be running down a sidewalk, for a long distance, or you know,
Oh yeah.
that gets more
No.
risk of being caught. You know what I mean? So
Definitely. No, and I don't think that he has the means to evacuate the city in his own automobile, and that's just my take on it, but I don't think that he can actually do that. I think he is on foot. I
yeah.
believe that he might have a home base, but I don't think that it's his home base. It's just, like I said, just my thoughts, but
Well,
I
you think of just what is this? Has he done this before? Has he moved from an area? You know what I mean? And he lived somewhere 5 years ago, and
yeah,
people came up missing there, and he moves to this city. And you just don't know and what this person is thinking.
right, right. And if that is a possibility, then maybe there's more victims. That's the scary thing too. You know, maybe there
Yes,
are more victims than what we already know. Maybe there's I don't know, double. I mean, because why all of a sudden? We don't know that, right? Like we don't know why all of a sudden, and then why the gap, and then all of a sudden just you know everybody all at once. So
exactly. All right. Well, anything else you would like to say or talk about, regarding your your cousin Paul?
yeah, it's just that he was an awesome person. I loved him very much. And like I said, he is like a big teddy bear, funny, goofy, um, just one of my favorite people. And I would love
Cousins are
nothing
great
more.
growing up. They're just so
They
great
are.
growing up. You
They
know,
are. They are. Yeah, our cousins end up becoming our siblings, really. And if your families are
they
close,
become our first friend. You know
yes,
what I
yeah,
mean? They become our
yeah,
first friend. I feel
definitely.
like so.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, because it's not the brother, that you're just like, oh, he's so annoying. It's the
Right.
cousin who's he might be kind of cool. And Paul was. He was, like I said, we had I mean, too many, I can't even pinpoint, but I can just see him like smiling and laughing in my head, and
Yes.
when I think about him, and that's what really makes me feel choked up because I wanted to talk to him one last time. I didn't get that. I got robbed from me and everybody else. So,
Yes. And I'm so sorry. One thing here, Vet Girl and ICU, there are two of my head mods. Uh, they were, talking about how this killer, stopped, the, every, he didn't do anything for 400 and some days.
yeah,
you
yes.
know and could it be that he got scared, possibly, but it could also be that this man has been in jail during that time as well.
True. That is another possibility. Yep.
And
Yep.
that was a great point.
That's a
I see
possibility.
you in that, girl. Great point.
Hmm.
And if you see something, say something, even if you live in the town right now, and
Yeah.
you see someone that it's got a build like this, a walk similar, or just you feel something is off about them, or even if you don't feel something is off about them, and you see the way that they walk, or they
Yeah.
the dates that that these occurred on. This person was gone from this time to this time, out of town, whatever. Just please call in. All it takes is one yes. That's all it
Yeah.
takes. 209
Exactly.
946 0600. And it keeps everyone more safe before any other life is
Yeah.
taken. I can tell you that these families right now, um, they're victims in their own right, but they certainly don't want this to happen to anybody else. I can
Mm.
say that. So,
Can I,
please, if you're in the
I'm
area,
sorry, Justin, may I say something
yeah,
super quick too? Is that,
please.
if you want, I really, because I want to get this across too. If you want to say something and and you feel like it might be like you don't want to implicate yourself or you don't want to, you know, put your name out there. Everything is completely
Anonymous.
100%
Yes.
it confidential. When you call Crime Stoppers or the police department, you just let
Yes.
them know, I do not want my name put out there. I want
Yes.
everything that I'm giving you guys to be, I don't want it linked back to me at all. And they will do that. And so if there is, and don't be scared and think like, well, what if they do? They won't. They will not. There's no, if that,
0% chance that they
yes,
will even remotely think about releasing any information. The
yes.
only information they want is who this guy is. Who this guy is. And trust me, before they go knocking on anyone's door, they're going to do their diligence and make sure that, they're going to do their homework first. So, um, I'm just going to
Yes, yeah,
play this one more time. And so we're
yeah.
trying to
It's
find this bastard. Uh, he needs to be off the streets. He needs
he
to
has
be.
many more names than just bastard, right? He uses all
Yes.
kinds of names.
Yes.
I just can't see it right now, but yes.
Yes.
But yeah, that's one thing I wanted to stress because I had a couple of my, like I said, a couple of my girlfriends had come to me with, they actually happened to live, work in the area, and they had come to me and talked about, well, I really honestly think it's this guy. And it's crazy because both of them, I didn't talk about either one to the other one, you know. But
Uh-huh.
both of them were saying that the same description. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is just one person that's, just kind of off his rocker, and maybe it's not the person, but it was interesting that they were pinning it on the same type of description, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just, it
So
was worth it, obviously, to pass it on, which I did. So we'll see.
yes, take a close look. I put it on full screen. Take a close look. And this guy, he clearly um walks outward a slight bit. It's not going to be huge, but you'll just notice that his left leg kind of
Right.
always goes out a little bit, and his foot as well, and you can just clearly see this in every single, it's outward. um, Always, you can just, it's always out, always out. And this is the thing, you walk the way you walk, right? You can see it's out here, foot turned out, it's not straight. See how it's out like this? Foot straight, this is outward. um you walk the way you walk, and you can't consciously uh oh, what happened? I think she fell off. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Okay, so sorry about that. Are you there?
Okay, you guys lost
Okay.
me for a second. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes. Sorry. I was
Hold on one second. I don't know how that happened.
oh, it happens.
Hold on.
Trust me. It happens all the time.
I just
But
was all of a sudden it went blank and I'm like, oh no, what happened? Can you hear me though?
yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yep.
so sorry. I hope you didn't hear my curse word.
No, you're fine. We use a lot
Oh,
of those
good.
here, so it's fine.
Okay.
But this leg is straight and this leg is going out, particularly the foot. It's not huge, but it goes out and the leg goes out. You see someone that walks like this, and also watch this. He kind of walks on his tippy toes.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Oh,
got a he's got
uh-huh.
a he's got a spring, right? Watch him spring,
Right.
spring, 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 spring. And it's he's just got a very distinctive uh walk. I think this
Yeah.
man is, in my opinion, he is probably in his 20s to 30s, my opinion, but he could be 70 for all we know. We can walk really fast, who knows? But we'll take any call, if you
I
anyone.
concur with what you're saying. I really
So
do.
so I think you know, we got to find this guy and we got to get him off the street, and nobody's going to stop. Nobody's going to rest until that happens. So,
Yeah.
anything else you would like to say this evening?
Um, you know what? I think I've kind of said it all a little bit, and I feel like my
Yeah.
little earbuds are starting to die on me. I don't know why, and I apologize.
Uh,
But I just want to say, really honestly, thank you to you
of
guys
course.
for being so sensitive to the issue. And honestly, I have been contacted by multiple. I mean, it's been crazy. My phone has never been so popular, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm not really like a techie person on the phone, so that's why I had asked a lot of questions how to even join the podcast. I apologize about that, but yeah, I'm
No.
happy to get the good stuff out, and I'm happy to get certain stuff out, details, and hopefully, it will help with maybe somebody coming forward and hearing that, Paul, he was loved, and we're heartbroken, and we
Yes.
can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
It keeps us up, and we want him to be remembered, and we definitely want to bring whoever did this to justice. That's number
Let
one
the
in our head.
victims rest. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Because I don't even know how we can and how we can even try to ease up a little bit until we know, because the not knowing is the worst. And I know probably all the other families feel the same way.
Yes. Absolutely. Let the victims rest, and let the families rest. So
Yeah.
it's we're going to get this guy. I know that the authorities will, and we will be here with you guys every step of the way. Um,
Thank you.
this is really just the beginning. You know, after he is caught, it starts a new process. But we will be here for you if you need anything whatsoever. We are here day or night, night or day. If you anything, really mean that.
I
I
appreciate that. And
appreciate
you guys
you.
came out of nowhere. You guys just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, but I just knew that you guys, I don't know, I just had a feeling you guys were good people, and that's really important to me. And you guys came at me on a very loving, the way that you just described what your goal was. It means a lot. It really means a lot. So,
Thank you.
otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. I would have ignored you too. I would have just been
Sure.
like, nope, not even gonna go there. But
Right. Well, I'm honored,
I really believe,
truly.
yes, I believe you guys are, in it for the good, and for the sole fact of figuring it out, and also honoring the victims too, which was beautiful. So I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Too many times we make it about uh, the ones who did this evil act, and the victims are sadly forgotten about. And
Yeah,
I think after you find these idiots that do these horrible things, uh, they don't need to be spoken of again. They're
no,
done.
no,
They go.
yeah,
They don't need any more glory. They've done enough. So
yes.
thank you so much. I appreciate you. God bless your family, and we'll be in touch, I'm sure.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you very much, and thank you to everybody that listened. And yeah, definitely, it's been awesome. Thank you so much, Justin.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Bye bye. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. Stockton Crime Stoppers, 209-946-0600. Or you can visit stocktoncrimestoppers.org. You can remain anonymous through Crime Stoppers. You don't need to give your name. You don't need to give your address. You just need to give them the details on what you think may or may not be anything. It just, 99.99% a chance. A lot of times it's a no, but it just takes that one yes to solve it. And it can be something so simple. If you look on a lot of these cases, that happen. It'll be just the most insignificant thing, a bug on a person's car, or a blade of grass, or a hair, and that changes everything. And that goes with the stories that needs to be told to get this demon off the street. I appreciate you. Please keep the families in your prayers, and the law enforcement that are dealing with this case. Please hit the thumbs up button. I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe. I would appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. God bless each and every one of you. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Good night, and God bless.